Oh, sweet. Here we go again. I'm back with the UFC predictions. I have been killing it in terms of pay-per-views. 22 wins with only 3 losses. Can this streak continue with UFC 303? Let's find out. I'm going to be breaking down each one of the fights, giving you my picks and predictions. And I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. On to the first fight. Ricky Simón versus Vinicius Oliveira. Now, Ricky Simón is somewhat of a gatekeeper of the division, but I think he is good enough to get the fight down to the ground, keep it there, and win rounds. I expect Ricky Simón to get the job done by decision. Vinicius Oliveira, it's a step up in competition and maybe a step too great. Moving on to the next fight. Carlos Hernandez versus Tsuruya, and Carlos Hernandez is coming off KO loss to Tsuruya. I'm gonna be honest, this Japanese fighter, the UFC, is teeing him up for a phenomenal finish. I expect Tsuruya to get the fight done inside the distance. Next up, we got the legend Andrei Arlovski versus Martin Buday. Now, I expect Martin to get the job done by a decision. He's not going to be able to finish Andrei Arlovski, I think, but do not bet this fight because Andrei Arlovski can pull off an upset. The opponent is not that great, let's be honest. So the pick is Martin Buday, but not going to play it. Next up, we got Michelle Waterson Gomez versus Gillian Robertson. And Michelle Waterson Gomez, she's on the way out of the UFC, coming off a very brutal stoppage to Marina Rodriguez. Going up against a girl such as Gillian Robertson, I expect her to kind of play jiu-jitsu with Gillian Robertson, and that's the mistake she's going to make. She's going to accept the takedown to try to fight off from there, fight her way back to the feet. And that's where I see the fight finishing. It's a WMMA fight, so I would also fade this play, but I believe Gillian Robertson gets it done. Next up, we got a tee up for Payton Talbott. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Yanis' last name, but I expect Payton Talbott to get this fight done by KO. You can kind of sprinkle something on the inside distance if you're afraid of the KO, because Payton Talbott is so unpredictable. He might just go for a rear naked or guillotine, but I expect Payton Talbott to get it done inside the distance nevertheless. His opponent, he got finished by William Gomez. Who gets finished by William Gomez? Stop, we got Jourdain versus John Silva. The odds makers be disrespecting John Silva. Maybe it's because of his walkout. It sucks, but I expect John Silva to show his skill in this fight. Jourdain in his last one against Sean Woodson was terrible and left a sour taste in my mouth, so I expect John Silva to be cleaning up Jourdain. Don't put a prop on this one, just play the underdog. Stop, we got Cub Swanson versus Andrei Fili. This one should ideally be a pick'em because Andrei Fili is coming off a very brutal KO loss to Dan 50K Ige, and it was quite recent, I must say. However, Cub Swanson, his win against Hakeem Dawodu was very suspect, and I don't expect him to get 2 fluky wins in a row. I expect Andrei Fili to get the job done. On to a fight that I'm very confident in. Joe Pyfer versus Marc-Andre Barriault. Now, Joe Pyfer is coming off a very, very bad loss against Jack Hermanson. Started off the fight hot, finished as cold as can get. However, Marc-Andre Barriault, he's not at the same level of Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer has a chin, he's able to crack, and he has exceptional jiu-jitsu. He wins the fight regardless of if it's on the ground, standing up. If it's a decision, he has enough gas in his tank to finish 3 rounds of fighting. 5 rounds, we're having a different conversation, but I expect Joe Pyfer to get this one done with ease. Stop, Ian Machado Garry versus Michael Venom Page. People are picking Ian Garry. I don't see it. Have you seen the fight with Kenan Song? If Kenan Song had any killer instinct, Ian would not be undefeated. I think Michael Venom Page catches him with a shot. I think Michael Venom Page could even put on a clinic like what he did against Kevin Hall. He has so much power in his hands. Yes, Ian Garry is a decent striker. Some may say a high level, disagree, but some may say a high level. It's going to be really tough for him to beat Michael Venom Page over 3 rounds, and I don't see him being able to catch Page with a shot clean enough to put him out. This fight stays standing. It can be a boring fight or a really entertaining one. I'm leaning more towards a boring point fight, but Michael Venom Page is very entertaining to watch. Give me Michael Venom Page to get the job done. Next up, we got a WMMA fight. Maria Bueno Silva versus Macy Chiasson. Now, people are sleeping on Bueno Silva because of her terrible championship fight performance where she gassed out real early and wanted to just lie down for the entire fight, take a nap. Macy Chiasson is not that good. Bueno Silva, over a 3-round fight, I support her for sure in this weight class. 5 rounds, another conversation. I think Bueno Silva gets this fight done. She can get it done inside the distance via submission or by decision, but just take her at money line because the odds are really nice. Stop, we are Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. I'm going to keep it real simple. I think Anthony Smith is on the tail end of his career and Roman Dolidze is on his way up. And he is a level above Anthony Smith in my opinion. Look at the way Anthony Smith performed against a fighter like Khalil Roundtree. Now, look at how Roman Dolidze performed against Jack Hermanson. I expect Dolidze to get this one done. And he's really hard to put away, so what is Smith going to catch him with? No clue! Smith, his performance against Ryan Spann was also really bad. Moving on to the co-main event of the evening. Brian T. City Ortega versus Diego Lopes. Now, these are 2 high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belts. Brian Ortega is a level above. But even if this fight goes to the ground, I expect Diego Lopes to hold his own and not get finished. This fight is going to be mainly stand-up. That's what happens when 2 top-tier jiu-jitsu guys face off. If it's only standing, Diego Lopes should have a field day with the amount of power that he possesses in those hands. So I back Diego Lopes to get this one done. On to the main event of the evening. Alex Pereira versus Jiří Procházka 2. This is the second time these fighters are coming up against one another. And Jiří Procházka has fought Alexander Rakic since they fought last, showing the inability to check kicks effectively. I don't think he's going to be able to check Payton's kicks. If Payton sticks to a clean game plan, catches him with kicks, the left hook is bound to come. You can catch him with some power because Pereira is somewhat chinny, but once Pereira keeps his hands up and do that kind of mummy guard and protects his chin, he can clock Jiří for sure. The pick for me has gotta be Alex Pereira to get the fight done by knockout. Longer the fight goes, favors Jiří, but I think it gets done early. And that has been my UFC 303 predictions. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, support the channel on the Patreon, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, game time.